Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those who are new, I know you can benefit. So I was just, observing the children eating their lunch, and it's tricky. They do offer some salad, they do offer some fruit, but the kids, of course, largely grab the packaged things, they guzzle down chocolate milk, and some choose not to eat at all because they just think it's disgusting, and then a bunch of stuff gets thrown away. And I was reading an article that said 1 billion pounds of waste is put in our landfills every year from our K-12 schools. And so, of course, some people are trying to change that, which I greatly appreciate because they say, oh, well, once it leaves the cafeteria, you can't take it. You're not allowed to use it. You can't do anything with it. You're going to have to throw it away. And children are throwing away stuff. I was saying, don't throw your bananas away, you guys. Put them on the counter to donate and don't throw whatever away. And I was just like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? So I actually got in here and there was this one organization, and I'm going to attach this because I think it's so important and impressive. And it's a thing called K-12 Food Rescue. K-12 Food Rescue. And they have rescue workers that are trying to save stuff. And that's where I read that it says the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, supports the safe donation of unopened and unpeeled food items from the trays of students that they choose not to eat for any particular reason when following food safety guidelines. That's all I'm asking, is that they, are able to redonate their food. And it says over 100 K-12 food rescue schools or school districts have made over 3.4 million rescue food items. On Food Rescue's Live Impact, have made over 3.4 million rescued food item entries. Oh, rescued food item entries. So I guess when you rescue them, you brag on this site, the Food Rescue Schools site, so on their dashboard, since our free tracking tool was introduced in 2016. Some schools where there is 100% free and reduced breakfast and lunch have recorded 500 items per day that they rescued. I have no doubt that that's valid. High school students generally waste the least, probably because they don't bother to eat at school, right? They're not going to eat it. While elementary school students generally waste the most. Amen. I so hear that. Dairy products are pasteurized, and this Harvard study emphasizes the safety of donating these temperature-controlled products using proper guidelines and the myths often associated with their expiration. Yeah, kids freak. The expiration dates today, they're poisoning all of us. I'm like, it's a suggested guideline. It's safe for 7 more days. It's like asking a vegan where they get their protein. Like suddenly these kids care about the expiration date. If it was a candy bar, they'd still consume it. Rolling food in landfills, rotting foods in landfills produces methane gas, that same gas from the cows, that's 21 times more harmful to the environment than CO2. K-12 Food Rescue is a food waste diversion program as promoted to students. While the donation piece is the obvious avenue used to keep the food out of the landfill, kids are not encouraged to donate food, rather be good stewards of the environment by not feeding landfills. If food waste were a country, it would be the 3rd largest producer of methane in the world. To view the impact of rotting food in landfills, according to many scientists, we created an animal drawing video as a teacher resource. Anyway, so it says, just some of the facts. It says 40% of food produced in the United States is wasted, just less than half, including 1 billion food items. So I guess that's what they were referencing, not pounds of food, but 1 billion food items annually from U.S. schools, while 50 million Americans are food insecure. It means they go hungry every day. They may not be technically starving, but they are hungry and underfed every day. This is the crime. This is totally the crime in this. If no families were food insecure, the careless destruction of nutritious food in our schools would be unwise for environmental reasons. However, with 50 million food insecure Americans, perhaps there's an even darker adjective? An even darker adjective than unwise to describe the careless practice. All right. The USDA secretary announced in September of 2015 nationwide food waste reduction goals, aiming to reduce food waste by 50% by the year 2030. In order to meet the goal, our schools must play a vital, if not leading role in a national action plan. I so agree. If our children aren't learning what the problem is, they're going to be adults very soon and they still won't care, right? Schools teach children that food has nutritional value, and K-12 food rescue practices augment that message rather than erode it. Why would we ever want to send a message to students that food is trash? Schools want to teach children to be thankful, yet the thankless process of harming the environment and ignoring children and families in need is facilitated, if not taught, by allowing students to fill landfills with unopened and unpeeled food items. In Indiana, we're ending the practice of landfill feeding one school cafeteria at a time. We can end it in every state and preserve over 1 billion unopened and unpeeled food items annually. K-12 rescue programs currently keep 3 million food items out of landfills each year in Indiana alone, and divert them into the hands of agencies that serve children and families in need through caring agencies that faithfully pick up from the schools on a regular basis. That's like going to make me cry. I'm not even kidding you. Oh my gosh. It's going to make me cry because it's like, seriously? How beautiful is it that somebody is actually doing this right? I have been in education for so long, and I just see the waste again and again, and like so many things in our society, it has just become the norm. And I had just seen a comment from a friend who said that her sister continues to eat meat because her argument is, well, I don't kill the meat. I don't kill the animal. And I don't eat these meats, I only eat these meats. As if, right? Darn it. It's not enough for me to get emotional about it. I have to help to change it. And I'm in a place to do that, right? In another school site. And maybe this smaller school site will be less political and a little more receptive to making change. But it's just so upsetting to me. And these kids don't get it either. I don't even know. It freaks me out because technically they're from low income, which is why they're Title I, which is why they're even getting free or reduced lunch. And in this case, a free snack too. And yet they have no sense of the waste, the chronic waste. And I'm like, why are you throwing that away? And the kid was like, oh, they require us to take 2 items, but I only wanted one. Required them to take 2 items. It was the same thing at the middle school. The amount of food they were dishing out for those children they couldn't possibly consume. And this is the joke. There's a 35-minute lunch. 20 minutes of it is for playing, and only 15 in line getting the food, sitting down and eating it is for the lunch part of it. Whatever. I'm a career educator. It is definitely probably God's next step for me that I get on with nutrition in schools. So let me just finish with this. So it says that schools across the country are stepping up to the challenge with innovative new programs such as unique techniques listed in the Smarter Lunchroom Self-Assessment Scoreboard to reduce food waste. Setting up a sharing table for kids to place items that they are not going to consume, milk and packaged or pre-portioned items. And that's true. We have a table where you can drop things off. Most kids throw it away before it gets to that table, but I'll be encouraging them. Letting kids self-serve and self-portion. This is so important. These children should be able to serve their own portion and even decline rather than the insane amount of waste. Oh my goodness. Working to ensure kids have ample time to eat. That's the biggest crime right there. Given time, they will eat properly. Collecting excess wholesome food after meal times to donate to food pantries. Yes. And then it says Food Bus is an example of a public charity that designs, implements, and maintains systems by which unused and unopened leftover food from elementary school lunches is saved and distributed to local food pantries. I love that. And Kai, we're in a really impoverished area right now that I'm working in the desert. People need this food. Using wholesome excess foods for classroom cooking projects. I love that. Composting food waste for school gardens. That would be so beautiful. Collaborating with local farmers or composting or food scrap projects and joining the EPA Food Recovery Challenge to work with an expert to measure and reduce food. So important. Anyway, I was just recognizing the tremendous amount of waste in my school, and I just wondered, what do you know about it? Could you make a difference with one of these programs? Consider it. I am going to get active, but right now I'm going to go ahead and save this in the description of this video. I am exhausted, to be fair, and we'll be getting up super early. My room is coming along, people. I have beautiful, vibrant posters, fantastic character-driven statements all over the room, encouraging kids to be amazing, and I can hardly even see the holes in the wall, anything. It was a nice room. It's a modular classroom, one of those trailers, right? So it had like fabric type walls and a nice carpet and everything at one time, probably 20 years ago. But it's looking good. I'm going to be sharing the great reveal probably tomorrow. I'm hoping to be done by tomorrow. All right, please like if you like, join us if you haven't, by subscribing, comment so I could support you, or support me with your comment. I would love it. And until we talk again, know that you're blessed.